So, in this video I want to talk about how to integrate responsive headers, which you can see here that are responsive and are not depending on the size of the screen. So even if you have a big screen, they are nicely aligned with an image in the center and then elements close to the border on the right and on the left side, which start on the border and not at the image. And here's an example how it doesn't work. I will quickly explain how this code works and then how this code works and where the differences are and so on. As you can see here, it's not responsive at all. Here it's basically at the border. Here it's not at the border and so on. Where we can quickly see that here it's quite responsive. So starting at the border, they are the elements, and then in the middle is the image you want to display. Okay. So first, nothing special here. We simply have a window group with the content view. In the content view, we have a variable which lets us display the alternate view as a sheet. And we have an h-stack, a spacer, padding, and an h-stack. The h-stack is nothing else than this button. This h-stack is displaying these elements. And then the spacer simply lets us align this h-stack on top and this h-stack on the bottom. So as you can see here, really nothing special in it. The option to show this view in form of a sheet. This h-stack simply has two buttons, which are these buttons, then the edit button, then the image, and then this button on the right side. And as you can see, it doesn't work. What are the differences to the alternate view? First, when you have a sheet, you always want to be able to leave the sheet, so therefore you define a variable at environment presentation mode. And then on the button, you simply have the option to toggle this presentation mode so you can leave the sheet which is represented. Okay. Going back. So what you can see here, we have an h-stack and then we have two overlays. What is important about the h-stack is that the frame has a max width of infinity. So it means that if you put an overlay on it, then the buttons won't start at the frame, which is defined by the size of the elements in the h-stack, but actually can start near to the border of the screen because the max width of the frame is infinity and not limited by the elements within the h-stack. If you want to learn more how stacks work and alignments, you can watch another video of mine which I will record in the future where I will explain everything in detail, how alignments work, how stacks work and so on. So this is important for the overlays, and this padding allows us that we always have a minimum distance between the image on each side of 50 to the border of the screen. Then the spacer is similar like what we did on the content view. So there's the space between here and nothing. And so these elements will always be displayed on top. And in this h-stack, we only have the image, which has a max width of 550, which means that we simply limit the max size of the image, so it can't totally escalate. But actually, when you already have this thing becomes less important, actually. So because of this, it will always be kind of responsive, the image. So this would be with the max width of 450. And then, as you can see here, this would be without the max width of 450, and it's quite nice. It's centered and it doesn't escalate because we have the minimal padding of 100, which always leaves us with the distance of 50 on the left and on the right side. Do whatever you like. You can integrate both or just this one. This is the more important one. We have two overlays, and the alignments are very important on these overlays. So the alignment of this h-stack starts here on the left side, on the top, which means top leading, because this is an overlay for this complete v-stack. And this complete v-stack is the whole screen size. And on the top, so here, leading, which means left, we want to display this h-stack. Okay, so we have, like on the content view, two buttons and an edit button with a padding, and then here we have top and trailing, which means top, trailing, right side. It would go from here to here, and here would go from here to here. And then we have simply an h-stack and a button inside. I will quickly scroll down the views in case you want to copy the code for whatever reason. Okay, that's it. I hope it was helpful and that you know now how to create a responsive header, which is always nice to be seen, not depending on which device you use, either if it is an iPad or an iPhone. And remember, if you want to know more about stacks, I will upload a video in the near future where I will explain everything in detail with many examples, so you can quickly follow along and understand why some alignments work and what you have to do to ensure that these alignments work and so on. Have a great day.